So welcome to our optimization class. By the way, Sir Mirko and Carlito are my master's students in CHE 291. And then Ace and Reniel are my BS undergrad thesis students. And consequently, si Sir Mirko and Carlito are my master's thesis students. So, ayan. Next is, wait lang, let me share my screen. So all of you, there's an expectation that all of you will be able to use mathematical optimization in your respective thesis. So kaya tayo may optimization class. Let me share my screen. Okay, so uh, let's begin. So first, the agenda for today is first lecture, siguro mga 15 minutes. And then the rest of the time, we will do hands-on exercises. First, using Lingo, and then we will try MS Excel. I do hope that you have both softwares installed in your devices. Okay, so the objectives of this lecture would be first to understand model classifications and geometric implications, reverse engineer selected sample models. Uh, Itong number two, not really, but let's see if it's possible. Now, before we begin, there's a photo here of an elephant. And then these men are actually blind men. So, anong ginagawa nila? Kinakapa nila yung elephant. So, hindi nila alam, at first hindi nila alam na that's an elephant. But what they do is, kinakapa nila part by part. And then, after a while, they are able to determine that it's actually an elephant. And, ganun yung gagawin natin sa modeling na ang tawag doon ay deducing the whole from its parts. Okay? So basically, the reason why we're doing that is uh, we need to, in order for us to have a complete understanding of the solution of a model or a system, we need to analyze and integrate its individual parts. Ayan, so basically that's it. So for example, we can do that by decomposition, meaning if there's a large complex system, we can break them down or break it down into smaller, more manageable parts. And then another approach is modularity. So sometimes models are constructed by modules, and then we define the relationships between the modules, or we also call them subsystems. Ayan. So other strategies include divide and conquer, etc. So that is basically mathematical modeling. So kasi nga when we're trying to, like this one, okay, we're trying to represent a real world problem into a model so that we can solve it. Okay? And then we try to apply the solution of the model to the real world. But actually the real world is quite complex, quite complicated. And that's why we do some form of abstraction. And what do we mean by abstraction? Abstraction is um, when we try to simplify a complex real world system, and we do this by focusing on its essential features. So we just focus on the essential features. We try to ignore the irrelevant details. So we often do that in modeling. And how do we do that? 'Di ba, we try to represent complex problems or real world problems by through equations. So not just here in this subject, but in your other courses, you try to express, the physical phenomenon, 'di ba, by equations, by graphs, by algorithms. And you do that, you just capture the key behavior, and you without the unnecessary complexity. So that's model abstraction and model building in order to build the virtual replica, or in order to build the model. So that is what we're going to do in mathematical modeling and optimization. Okay. So next is this is the outline of the session. First, we learn about the different classifications of mathematical programming models. By the way, we usually use the acronym MP for mathematical programming. And then we have a geometric example and selected sample problems. Okay, first, let's discuss a generic mathematical program. So this is what the template or the generic MP. We so these are the basic parts, and as you can see, very teka, may nag-message. Let me just check if it's Wednesday. Uh, okay, online tayo, right? Uh, okay, let me just pause the recording so Wednesday. Okay. So this is the generic mathematical program. And as you can see, very simple lang naman yung parts. Now we have an objective function. Ala, what happened? Ah, ah. We have an objective function and constraints. So lahat ng nasa ilalim ng subject 2, these are the constraints. Objective function, we can minimize or we can also maximize depending sa format ng objective function. And this is the objective function, minimize f, uh, subject to inequality constraint. So any constraints wherein you use less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, so pwedeng greater than or equal to, those are inequality constraints. So meaning meron ka on the left side your function and on the right side the limit. So not necessarily zero. Okay, yung nasa right side. So but you can format it so that you transfer constant man to, you transfer to the left side, so this becomes zero. Parang you standardize the format to make the right side zero. But it's not necessarily zero. Okay. Equality. So that just means the constraint has an equal sign. So F, G, and H, the functions, okay, F, G, and H would depend on the nature of the problem. Okay. They're algebraic form. So meaning they can be linear or quadratic or other polynomial. And then we have two types of variables. We have continuous variables. So these are basta member siya ng real, it's a real number. Okay, but when we have integer variables, so that means ano lang siya, 0, 1, 2, 3, and then pwede ring binary, 0 or 1. Okay, so very ano lang, simple lang ang structure ng mathematical program. Okay, next is, so we discuss it, ano yung examples, no, in for a chemical engineering problem. Example of an objective function is a function of the efficiency of the process, or say a cost function, or profitability. So which is what do you want in real life? You want to maximize, 'di ba, the efficiency, you want to maximize the profitability. Or if it's cost, you want to minimize it. Or if it's a environmental footprint or pollution like GHG emissions or other pollution like in water or in other form, no? So you want to minimize that. And then we have examples of inequality constraint. For example, pressure limits. So ibig sabihin when you're writing that inequality constraint for for pressure, so we expect the right side of the equation would be the limit, yung pressure limit, no? Or entropy generation, pwede rin. Equality, this can be energy or mass balances. Kasi yun, dapat equal. Equal talaga. Pag limit, uh, pwedeng less than. Okay? Or pwedeng greater than because it's an inequality sign. But for equal, strictly equal. Like mass or energy balance. If continuous variables, these are examples are physical variables like pressure, temperature, and concentration, etc. If integer variables, we expect that these are discrete. Say sa distillation, number of stages or logical decision, pwedeng 0 or 1, which represents 0 without catalyst, 1 with catalyst. Ayun. So these are examples of each parts of the mathematical programming. Okay. Next, we proceed with the classification. So, like I said, G, and H are the functions here, right? So these are the functions in the generic mathematical program. So, if they are all linear, so dito muna tayo sa column na to, lahat sila linear, ibig sabihin, hindi sila squared, hindi sila square root, hindi sila cube, they're not multiplied with each other. Each variable is not multiplied with another variable. That would be linear. So all of them, F, G, and H are all linear polynomials. That would be all linear program. So that would be this column. But there are different types of linear program. Um, if all the variables are continuous, ibig sabihin, part sila ng real number. So pwedeng may decimal like 1.5, 1.78, etc. or 3.69. That would be a linear program or LP. Pero if all the variables are integers, then that would be an integer linear program or ILP. But if the variables are a mix of continuous and integer variables, then that would be an MILP or mixed integer linear program. Okay? Now, a more difficult model or more complex than linear would be the nonlinear. Okay? So that means the variables or the functions f, g, and h are not comprised of only linear polynomials. So, ibig sabihin, even if may isang linear, kung meron isang non-linear na function, kahit isa lang siya, the rest are linear, it's still going to be a nonlinear program. What are examples? If you square a variable, so ano na siya, if other polynomials greater than 2 square root, if you multiply two variables with each other, that's going to be a nonlinear program. And that would be this column. And again, there are different types, like if all variables are continuous, then that's just an NLP. And then if it's all integers are all variables are integers, that's INLP. And this would be the most difficult to solve. Mixed integer, and then it's also nonlinear. So mixture of continuous and integer. At the same time, the functions are non-linear. So there is a one or more functions are non-linear. It will be MINLP. Okay. So let's investigate a sample linear. So linear muna tayo. Linear programming model. So notice the format or the mathematical programming model. So this is your objective function. Minimize this one. So this equation right here would represent this plane. Okay. So we have an x sub 1. Would represent the value. Okay. The value here. Okay. Which is on this plane. So the value of this axis right here, which is on this plane. Now, say this is x sub 1, this axis right here. And then, can you see my cursor, by the way? So, can you see my mouse? Hello?
Yes po, ma'am.
Okay. And let's say x sub 2 is this axis right here. This would be our constraint. So meaning x sub 1 is constrained from -1 to 1. X sub 2 is constrained from -1 to 1 as well. So ito yung constraint. So what we want to do is to minimize the value. Okay, so this is how the solver, commercial solvers uh, are the programs that would solve this. So now we don't have to solve this mathematical program manually. No, we have uh, solver, what we call solver. So they would output the optimal solution for us. So what are examples? In Excel, it has a built-in solver. So Lingo has also a solver. Um, Later you will see, okay, when we demo the hands-on exercise. But what does a solver do? So imagine that a steel ball drops here now. Uh, what happens by the law of gravity, diba? The steel ball will roll down. I roll down in a direction perpendicular to this gradient. So these colored rectangles here are gradients, and they would represent uh, range values, okay, on the plane. So physically, when a steel ball would touch this plane, it would roll down perpendicular to the direction of the gradient. And then that would give us, okay, the lowest point here would then give us the lowest value. Okay, that's the minimum. And this for a linear programming model, it's not difficult. Okay, not difficult to determine the optimal value. Okay, it's not difficult because as you can see, the steel ball will just simply roll down. And if the solver is the simplex algorithm, which is the one used for linear programs, it's the solver simplex algorithm. So the solver would run using the simplex algorithm. What it does is it actually traces the slope. So the steel ball would fall here on the edge and it would trace the edges to find the optimal and the optima or the optimal value. And for linear models, there's always a global optimum. No, it's although there can be multiple, we are ensured that there always be a global optimum. And we also call in mathematical programming linear surfaces convex regions on hyperplane. So we call it convex. So it simply just says that if you have 2 points, the if the objective function has 2 points, they would lie on the same plane, something like that. That's why it's convex. Now, in contrast with a nonlinear programming model, so this is a nonlinear model. What do you notice? Meron ng squared, okay. This would represent again our value. This equation here would represent the value here, and then the model represented by this surface, one of these terms should be negative kasi as you notice, one is caved. Okay, one is opens upward. Okay, it's a parabola opening upward, but the other side is opening downward. So it should be negative. And then also it can be this one. So one is negative, opening downward, one is positive. Okay, opening upward. So again, these are your constraints. They are the limits for the values of x sub 1 and x sub 2. Oh, what happens here if we, for example, in this figure, we drop a steel ball but nasaktuhan siya na nando siya sa part na it's right in the middle of this parabola opening upward and also right at the center of the parabola opening downward. So there's no gradient to move, no? So wala siyang there's no push to move at towards any direction kasi nasa center siya. Do you think that would be the optimum, the global optimum? Hindi na siya nag-move eh. So we thought that, oh, that's already the optimum. Unfortunately, it's not the optimum, no? So we know that by looking at the picture, this should be the optimum that would give us the lowest value for this equation, right? But the problem is the steel ball fell on the center and would not move. We thought that this is optimum. Or another scenario is it falls here a little bit towards the right. So it goes to the other optimum, quote unquote. And we call those points local optima. So they are not the global optimum because we see it, but um if we don't have a visualization of the model, that would be difficult, especially if it's more than three dimension. No? Kasi it's three dimension, we can imagine it, but uh, more than that, we cannot visualize more than three dimensions, so it's difficult to visualize. So that would be the problem for a nonlinear model. So ito naman, ganun din, the steel ball happens to be dropped exactly at the center right here. It does not move. So we thought this is already the local optimum, or we thought that it's the optimum. No, but actually it's just a local optimum. It's not the global optimum. But if we're fortunate enough that the steel ball drops a bit lower right here, then it would roll down perpendicular the gradient, then we're able to get the global optimum. Okay, so that's why we call nonlinear surfaces non-convex because of the curvature. And simply following the gradient will not give us a guarantee that we'll find the global optimum. And therefore, special solvers, special algorithms are needed to ensure that solutions found are not just local optimum, and so that the solutions found are global optimum. Kasi we don't want local optimum, we want global optimum. Nakuha ba? Oh, may question so far? Okay, let's move on. So I hope that we're on the same page now when we say the optimum. If it's a minimum, so that's the lowest point, lowest value, and it's a maximum, it's the highest value. This is optimization. So some examples of nonlinear program. By the way, notice that uh, minimum pero may negative sign. So actually, kasi nga, ang standard format is we use minimum, but minimize. But actually, you can also write this as maximize, and then you remove the negative sign. Okay. And why is this a nonlinear program? Any guess? Any guess why is this a nonlinear program? There's no it's okay to try. Any guess why this is a nonlinear program?
Hello po, ma'am.
Okay.
Yung fourth equation po, ma'am, yung parehong x of 5 and x of 6, naka-raise to 0.5 po siya.
Yeah. Okay. This one is square root, so yes, that would make this a nonlinear. Other things or other observations that why is this a nonlinear program?
May mga, ma'am, sa akin po may mga terms po na may dalawang variables, like yung x sub 1, x sub 5. So technically, naka for second degree na po ata siya for me. Tama po ba?
Yes, when we multiply two variables, then that would make it nonlinear. Okay, so very good. Okay, so ito naman, it just means that this last equation right here just means that x sub 1 is from 0 to 1. So that's the constraint of x sub 1. X sub 2 is from 0 to 1 as well hanggang x sub 4. X sub 5 is from 0 to 16. So that is what this format means. That's the constraint for x sub 1 to x sub 6. Okay, so I hope you understand how to interpret this code. Next example. Can you tell, this is an integer. So by the way, ito ay lahat continuous variables kasi sinabi lang naman niya na yung x sub 1 from 0 to 1. So pwedeng 0.5, 0.9, etc. Any number between 0 and 1. But this one, it's an integer nonlinear program. And it's because y sub 1 to y sub 4, ang ibig sabihin lang nito, hindi yan to raised to the 4 ha. Y sub 1 is from either 0 or 1. And y sub 2 to y sub 4 is also the same. Either only 0 to 1. So it's just a binary variable. So it means this representation right here, it means a binary variable for all y sub 1 to y sub 4. Now, can you tell me what makes this a nonlinear program? Someone who has not spoken yet.
Hello po.
Anyone? Yes.
Kasi po yun sa objective function po, pinag-multiply po yung dalawang quantities nasa
Yes,
loob
yes.
ng parentheses.
Okay. Correct. So, even if you see that itong quantity na to, these are all linear, ito rin, but because they were multiplied with each other, that makes it nonlinear. Okay? So, ito, very obvious naman. This is also, by the way, integer yung y sub 1 to y sub 8. Pero yung r sub 1 to r sub 3 are continuous and that makes it mixed integer nonlinear program. And what makes it nonlinear is because we raise the numbers to the variables. So that makes it nonlinear. At the same time, when you multiply them together, ayun. And by the way, so ngayon kasi pinag-separate pa yung R1, R2. So the question is, can you just input all of these equations, itong value ng R sub 1 dito, R sub 2 dito, uh, and R sub 3 dito. Is it still the same? Actually, yes. No. So you can just input them together, itong tatlong to, and that would make your objective function. Okay? Ayun. So this right here would make it all y sub 1 to y sub 8 a binary variable. Okay? So let's have so hindi pa to yung maglilinggo. Um, it's just a exercise now. So imagine you have a triangle with a height na 3 and length na 4. Okay. And there's a inscribed inside the triangle is a rectangle with side y and x. Okay. So the question is find the dimensions of x and y of the largest rectangle that can be inscribed inside the right triangle. And the corner of this rectangle should touch, okay, should touch the hypotenuse or should be tangent to the hypotenuse. So let's see. Okay. Any guess what is the objective function? Largest rectangle. Any guess?
Ma'am,
And
guess lang po. If perimeter po yung pag-uusapan ay 2x plus 2y.
how
Kung area naman po
area?
ay xy.
Okay, good. Good approach. Kasi ako nga naman, hindi naman sinabi kung perimeter or area, but let's assume na it's the area that we're talking about. So that would be x times y. Now, subject to the constraints na. So, at this point, we need to find a function that relates, okay, that relates the two variables x and y. Now, what we can do is observe this triangle right here. So this triangle geometry rules, no, the ratio of y with the uh 3, no, so the ratio of this small triangle with the larger triangle. So it means the height of this small triangle with this height of the larger triangle is y over 3 is also equal to the ratio of the length of the smaller triangle with the larger triangle. So 4 minus x over 4. So by geometry rules, rearranging the equation, that would give you um, this equation. Okay? And you can also do that for the other triangle, and you will also obtain the same. So, duplicate lang siya ng equation. And you can also limit the values of y from 0 to 4. So you can put that. And limit the value of x from 0 to 4 and limit the value of y from 0 to 3. So you can also put that. But actually, those limits are already uh, parang integrated na yun dito. But we have to ensure that x and y are non-zero or greater than 0. It should be greater than 0. So we put those constraints. And this is the result. This is a nonlinear program with an optimal solution right here. So that is the result. Okay? So that's the model building exercise. The next is I will show you some examples in chemical engineering. Some example models in chemical engineering. So this one is a vessel design problem from this reference in 1994. So what do you notice? So X sub 1 is the T sub S. So that's the thickness of the cylinder. X sub 2 is the thickness of this part right here. X sub 3 is the radius of the cylinder. X sub 4 is the length. So, hindi in-explain no kung ano ba tong equation na to. We have to see the original publication or reference. But we can guess that it has something to do with minimizing the say minimizing the amount of the material. So that's one possible scenario here. Uh, Subject to some other constraints. So if you're interested in knowing what each of these equation represents, then you can check the original uh, literature. Okay, but that's one example. Another is in reactor design problem. So here you have two reactors. There's an input stream to reactor 1, and then the output goes to the reactor 2. And then finally you have uh, an output stream. So what the model, the objective of the model is to minimize negative X4. So that is also maximizing X4. So meaning if this is concentration, you want to maximize concentration CB2. And I guess these are reaction rates na yung where K is a reaction constant. So I guess that is something to do with the rates of the reaction. That would be the constraints. And then um, subject to X sub 1 being in the range of 0 to 1. So that means the concentration is from 0 to 1. So that's we expect also probably this X sub 1 is yeah, since this is concentration C sub A2. And then yung X sub 5, V sub 1 the volume, X sub 6 is volume. So ibig sabihin yung reactor should not be greater than, it should be greater than 0 but less than 16. Okay, so if you're interested in the uh, interpretation of this model, please check out the reference. Another example is in heat exchanger design, and in this would problem, we will try to model this one. So we have X sub 1, what is that? Area. So we want to minimize the area of the heat exchangers. Okay? So because when we minimize the area, we minimize the material that we use and subject to the constraints. So probably heat transfer equations. Okay? Another heat exchanger problem. Okay? So this is from this reference. Ayan, so those are examples in chemical engineering. Summary and conclusion. Ayan. So we go back to the original photo, or the one we showed at the start, deducing the whole from its parts. And that is actually what we're going to do, no, in order to represent the real world problem in a model. We try to um, decompose the problem, okay? Remove any unessential or irrelevant features. We just focus on essential features. Okay. And summary and conclusion. Practical engineering problems can be expressed in the form of mathematical programming models. Model building entails translation into computable mathematical form. Next week, we will try to, since hanggang 4 o'clock naman tayo, we'll try to solve one or two problems. So another note is when you try to build a model representing a real world problem, there's a balance between uh, model complexity and model solvability. I don't know if there's a term na solvability. No? I'll check later. So what it means is the model should be complex enough to represent the real world. So it should not be super simple na it's unusable or it does not represent at all the real world, but it should not be so complex that we cannot solve it or it takes too much time to solve the problem. Kasi pag masyadong complex, ang tagal niya ma-solve, some would re- yung mga yung iba na nagre-research na and they are into mathematical programming, they leave their computer running for days and di pa rin ma-solve yung model. So there's a balance between uh, building a complete or robust model and that is still solvable. Okay. So now do you have any questions? Okay, so can we proceed to the exercise? So please open the global optimization file that I sent via chat. Wednesday, na-view mo ba yung file? I sent it via chat. Okay, so let me share that. Let us try example 5 using Lingo. Okay. Now, I will share my entire screen. First, open Lingo. Teka, wait lang. Oops. What's happening? Okay, so let us try solving this problem. Okay. So I will demo how to use Lingo, how to translate this model into a language of Lingo. But later, I will also demo using Excel. So the problem is minimize this objective function. So we can name that x sub 1. We can keep the name x sub 3. Okay? You can also follow while I type. Now in Lingo, the objective function is followed by an equal sign. So that's the format. Okay? Yan. And also, the variable should start with an alphabet. So you cannot start a variable by a number. And you end all the lines by a semicolon. Okay? So please try on your devices as well. Okay. So let me go to the next line, 100,000. So in Lingo, multiplication should be represented by an asterisk, x sub 4 minus 100. The reason you can put spaces na, pwede rin ganito. Okay, pwede rin ganun. Pero, mas maganda kasing tignan pag may space. Equal to 120 x sub 1. Are you following with me? Minus x sub 4. Okay? Tapos, don't forget. Okay, so lahat ba kayo naka-open na ng Lingo? Sino pang hindi pa? So, I assume that dapat lahat kayo makuha yung later. Nawala yata teka. Okay. So, later, sabay-sabay tayo mag-click ng solve to get the optimal value. So, next line na ako. So, just follow along. Type what I'm typing. Nandito tayo sa example 5. 100,000 times x sub 5 minus x sub 4 equal to 80 times x sub 2. Just tell me if may typo error ako x sub 5. And then lastly, 100,000 times 500 minus x sub 5. 40 times x sub 3 times 600 minus 500. Okay, so anong interpretation nito? So like before, I said that x is greater than 0, x sub 1. So una, x sub 1 is greater than 0. So si Klingo actually, ang default, pag nilagay mo na greater than and less than, default ibig sabihin nun, may greater than or equal to. So hindi lang niya nilalagay yung equal to, pero this would represent greater than or equal to. And then this would represent less than or equal to. Okay, nakuha bakit x sub 1? Kasi yun yung unang pair. And in Lingo, default na lahat ng variables ay greater than 0. So kahit di natin ilagay ito, i-default niya na greater than 0. Pero sige, lagay na lang natin. So I can put that right there para isang line. But it's important that you put a semicolon. So next is x sub 2 is still greater than 0. And x sub 2 is less than 36250. Okay. Next is x sub 3 is greater than 0. X sub 3 is less than 10,000. X sub 4 is greater than 100. O, take note guys, nandito tayo sa fourth variable. X sub 4 is less than 300. And last is x sub 5 greater than 100. X sub 5 is less than 400. Okay? So, very important before you solve the problem. Okay? Go to solver, options. Okay, nandito kayo. Go to global solver. Click the tab global solver. This should be ticked. Use global solver. You should tick that. Dapat may check mark yan. Ulit go to solver. Solver, options. Global solver. Click this box. Use global solver. Naka-follow? Pwede kayo mag-unmute at magsalita. Don't be shy. Lahat naka-follow? Okay. So what's the next step? We save it first. We save. Sige, save. Control S. I'll name it optimization class April 2025. Tapos, I name it example 5. Kasi this is, example 5. Okay? So, notice that the type is .lg4. So, just keep it yung asterisk lg4, no? So, that's our file type. Save. Okay? So, after saving, or kahit before saving, I just want to show you that that's the file type. You can click this, parang ano ba to, yung bullseye dartboard. Okay? Click solve. Tada! Okay. So what do we notice? sabi doon sa notification box, model is QP. What is QP? Quadratic programming. Kasi meron tayong may variables na multiplied by each other. Global optimum is found. The objective function is 7,049. Oh, let's see from the book ano yung answer. So from the book, tama, no? Objective function F7049. Can you see it? So nakuha. And then I will click close. And this is the solution. When you try to save this one, you save the type is a different file type. .lgr. Oh, you can also save that. So here you see that ito yung important. Global optimal solution found. Let me zoom. This is the objective function which matches the book's objective function. And then now we are curious, ano yung values ng x that would give the optimal solution? The solver was able to determine na ang value ng x sub 1, tama, 579, x sub 2, 1359, and so on and so forth. So nag-match. Nag-match with the book. Okay, so these are the values of the variables. Okay. Were you able to get the answer? Carlito?
Hello po, ma'am. Yes po. Nakakuha ko rin po yung answer kahit po expired na po yung license ko po.
Weinstein.
Ma'am, nag-check lang po ng lines. May error code po ako.
Okay. Ace?
Hello po ma'am, nag-quit po unexpectedly yung app pag nagtatry na pong mag-solve. Nag-quit po unexpectedly.
Nagki-quit.
Ah,
Okay. Reniel.
Nakuha ko po, ma'am.
Mirko, nag-thumbs up ka na, no? Okay. So, si Ace, nag-quit yung app. I'm not sure why. Weinstein, ano yung yung error code?
Sa may po, feeling ko po typing issue po ata ito. Ay, ayun, nakita ko na po. Wala po akong semicolon.
O, sige nga, isolve mo nga. Okay na.
Okay na po.
Nakuha mo yung objective function.
Okay,
7,000.
nakuha po.
Okay. Yung kay Ace, na-try mo ulit.
tatry ko po ulit ngayon ma'am, i-type ko po.
Ganito, ika-copy paste ko yung para hindi ka na mag-type. Ka-copy paste ko sa chat itong program para ma-try mo na agad. Copy paste mo lang sa Lingo. Pero click mo global solver. Okay, so may class na kayo, 'di ba? 4 o'clock. Tama ba?
Yes po, meron po.
Okay, so we can end and then let's continue next week. Okay? So baka kulang yung 4 session, baka mag 5 to 6 session tayo na 1 hour each. Alright, so in the references that I sent you, you can try at home on your own. Ayan yung iba pang example. Tsaka yung isa pa sa dulo na meron sa example. So, minsan may typo error yung reference, hindi ko rin makuha. I will send you via email yung mga code na ginawa ko. Tapos nilabelan ko kung okay or not okay. So okay means na nakuha ko yung answer sa book. So you can practice on your own. Next week we will show that this can also be done via Excel and also begin the next lecture. Okay, so I'll see you next week.
Thank you po, ma'am.
Thank you po, ma'am.
Opo, ma'am.
Okay, sige. Bye-bye.
Bye pa.